30,000 in the...
Welcome in, everybody. It's the Coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, they love their crab cakes and they love their football. That's what Maryland does. And we are at M&T Bank Stadium down near the Inner Harbor of Baltimore. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by Big Ben, their veteran quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Block 80!
First carry for James Conner. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Roethlisberger. And he connects with Vance McDonald. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
180! Mike, number 53! Mike, 53! Check. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
Yeah, he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. Play fake to Conner. Now Roethlisberger. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Matt Judon. He continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
First carry now for Gus Edwards. And space opens a bit as he gets it across the 15 to the 17-yard line. A look at the numbers last week for Edwards. 14 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play. And I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams. Because if you throttle back too early, you lose the rhythm of the run game, not just with the runner, but with the offensive line as well.
From the 17, Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Edwards now on 1st and 10. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
From the 39, Jackson. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Now this throw caught left side, and they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
They'll run. Here's Wilson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
On 3rd down, Jackson forced out to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. Right now, they're ranked number 29 in the NFL against the pass, so 4th from the bottom, Charles.
Defending the pass has not been one of their strong suits throughout the season, but if they have any hopes of making waves in January, they've got to improve in this area.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, Samuels. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Mike 53. Watch the call. Watch the call. Wait a second.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They run the counter. Samuels. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
Ben leaves to counter on the draw. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
Jackson now off the bootleg. He completes it to Wilson. Give him 2 yards on that play, and they're going to have a third down.
It's a gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 5.
Jackson steps away to his left. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And a big gain that time. He's out of bounds on what will be the final play of this first quarter. These two teams all tied after 1. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They go play action with Jackson. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Good job.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
29 is the Mike. Mike 29. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room. 29 is the Mike.
To throw is Jackson. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. Open man is the tight end, Nick Boyle. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Here's Jackson to throw. Snead's got it. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Jackson now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
On second down now, it's Edwards, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
From the gun, Jackson. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. 3 yards is the gain that time. Second and goal.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Willie Snead, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens have taken the lead.
And that drive we just saw that culminated in a touchdown, exactly what many offenses are looking for. Sustained ones that can impose their will on the other team.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-3. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a draw play. This is counter. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On second down, Connor looking for space. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now it's Roethlisberger. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. That'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Roethlisberger now complete to Switzer. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible. Hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. The drive starts with a carry by Edwards. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the two tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go, G. SOS. Joker.
Now it's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Check 26. Whip.
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. It's complete to Snead. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. A crazy sequence here. A huge gain that time, but it still leaves him well short for 4th down.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a 1st down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
A run with counter on 1st down, going to get about 5. 2nd and 5 coming up. Tackle made there by Tony Jefferson. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Play action. It's Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest, you can draft the most athletic guys, but if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. This is Johnson. He's got it. The end result, 21 yards. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Patrick on Rossor. He's at the 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Short throw, pick six right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then... Returning it to the end zone for the pick six.
Justin Tucker, the kickoff for Baltimore.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. Looking left sideline, incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Again, it's Roethlisberger. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. Lamar Jackson heading back out as we check out our players' spotlight. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, let's get sack lunch. Mike 29.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Throwing is Jackson. Underneath here to Hill. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. The Steelers now in the nickel here on third down.
Mike 55, right there in the middle.
Again, Jackson. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. He connected on his first, this from 41. Tucker's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll get started up at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, and it's the Giants who are out in front. The Giants still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Next, we'll stay in the AFC South as we fly through Kentucky and on down to Nashville to check on the Tennessee Titans. And they trail the visiting Chicago Bears. Taylor Gabriel, a touchdown reception. Finally, we finish at MetLife Stadium to see what's going on with the Jets. And that one, all even as they play the visiting Cleveland Browns. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we send you back to Brandon Gaudin.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, D. Mike 5-5, Mike 55, Mike 5.
On 3rd down, Jackson looking middle, and that's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45.
Under 10. Under 10.
Jackson will throw again. And he will find his man on the outside. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Hey, switch gears, switch gears. Check 3, check 3.
Out of the pistol. Here's Hill. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now.
I got you.
49, check 49, check 49.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Jackson now. Caught by Snead over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 6 of his throws on this drive.
Alert 3. Check 3.
Now a run with Edwards. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Switch. Alert flare, alert flare, flare.
Play action. Now Jackson. Got a man. It's Brown. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Jackson from the shotgun. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
So after the loss of down, they'll come up here with a 2nd and goal.
Watch the shit! Hot 58, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 50.
To throw is Jackson, escaping the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
3rd and goal, Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They do get 8 out of the pitch and catch. However, it's 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that will push this lead up to 20 now. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Okay, can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now it's Roethlisberger. He gets this one to Johnson. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Now Roethlisberger getting this one into the hands of Smith-Schuster. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Here we go.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. On 1st and 10 is Counter. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
White 80. You can't block me.
Again, it's Conner. And an alley to run. 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. First and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. The quick slant caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time.
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. Well, they sucked the defense in with a play fake, went over the top.
And I know from past experience, when offenses do that, a lot of times the defense guys are screaming at them, run the ball, run the ball. The offense doesn't really care. They got 6 points.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And that will get them one closer. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super toe.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Hey, he's coming.
They go play action now. Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth.
Hey, watch it. Rush in.
They run with Edwards. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they got an answer for it.
Now it's Jackson. And a quick throw here that's complete. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first.
Check it back, check it back. 58's the mic. 58's the mic. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
4th down, here's Jackson. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. And I am not sure, partner, there what the mindset was to go for it. I don't know.
And some teams just feel that possession is the key to everything. They just want to have the football in their hands. No matter how it goes to the other team, they just don't trust doing that. So they say, listen, go for it and try and finish it ourselves.
Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. And out across midfield down to the 45. 23 yards on the play.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together?
Check 48's the mic. Let's put them on the buses. Let's put that team on the bus.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he's taken down inside the 30. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a 1st down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Let's go.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. A gain of 6 there on 1st. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Ronald Darby that time, the one who got a hand in and knocked it free.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Matt Judon. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And his throw here's incomplete. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Switch it.
To throw again, Jackson. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
All day, baby, all day. Hey, alert three. Slam, go.
Check 50, check 50.
Kill.
On first down, Edwards. T.J. Watt in on the tackle. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, two-score game, so hold on here, not done in the fourth. Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Check 52.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. He'll get this one to Switzer. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
That is caught. It's Juju for the Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster with touchdown number 8 on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. And a play fake down near the goal line here worked out well.
Anytime you can make them think that you're going to run the ball and go to that play-action pass, you see the end result, usually a touchdown.
Is that harder? Is the play fake harder to defend for the defense near the goal line or no? Because there's not as much room to work with?
It is harder because down near the goal line, you're thinking much more of a running play, especially if people run out big formations. So it is hard.
And now look at him go. The 30, the 20, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Officially an even 100 yards coast to coast on the kick return as the Ravens push further out in front. A big-time special teams play here in the fourth quarter to extend their lead.
And coaches preach it all the time. If you can score on special teams, your chances of winning the game really jump up in a big way. Now, I'll let our analysts. Analytics friends quantify it and give us the exact numbers, but that's what coaches talk about all the time, that extra momentum, that extra bounce you get from a special team score.
I don't have any analytics friends. Those are your friends.
I'll claim them.
97's the mic. 97's the mic. I got wide. 97's the mic. 97's the mic.
From the gun, Jackson. Flush to his right. And this one's caught. And their fourth quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they elect to pass there on the two-point try. Sometimes could prove risky there. It worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky, because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
That's it, baby. We got work.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And now here's Switzer, the target, and he's got it. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need two of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Now this pass to Vance McDonald complete. A gain of 6 there on first. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Roethlisberger will throw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off at the 30, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Well, you're trailing. It's the fourth quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Check 9, check 9.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Watch the pass. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship.
Here's Edwards. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11.
Switch. 36.
And now he'll tuck it and run. He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a 3rd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a 1st down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Check.
Put up.
3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. McKinnon here. It's complete. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here I come.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Check. Watch safety 3. Watch safety 3.
Wilson with a 1st down carry. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Call it a gain of 5 that time. They'll be left with a 3rd down and about 9 to go. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Ravens, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis.